In this video, we'll take a look at the semantic elements in HTML. We've talked in previous videos about the difference between HTML and CSS. HTML is all about identifying the role or meaning of the content, while CSS is all about establishing the look of the content. You can apply different CSS code to the same HTML to change the appearance in countless ways, but as long as the HTML elements stay the same, the meaning remains the same as well. There's a special group of HTML elements called the semantic elements that can be used to group elements together in ways that add and enhance the meaning of the content. To understand all of these elements and what they mean, we'll need to meet them. Lucky for us, the best place to meet them is at a party. When you first get to this party, there's someone at the door to greet you, to say hello, and to let you know you're in the right place. This is like the header element in HTML. The header element is for introductory content to a web page or an article. Headers are commonly used to group things together like a logo, a title, or a main navigation bar. Speaking of navigation, as you enter the party, you look for some signage to see what fun stuff is going on and how to find it. This signage is like the nav element in HTML, which is for list of links that allow users to navigate between different pages or pieces of content in a website, page, or article. Now you know your way around the party, but before going in, you stop at the table at the front where someone tells you what organization put the party together, what good cause it benefits, and why you should consider making a donation. This table is similar to the footer element in HTML. The footer element contains content about the creator or creation of a website or an article. The contents of a footer might include credits, publication dates, copyrights, or sponsorship information. After you've learned about the good cause and donated generously, you can finally get to the actual party itself to start having some fun. In HTML, the actual party would be the main element, which contains the primary content of a page. An easy way to think about the main element is to ask what content users came to a page to see, read, or do. That content should be inside the main element. This party has all kinds of different things happening in different areas. There's a dance floor, a bar, games, and more. Each area is like the section element in HTML. The section element is for grouping content by topics, and each section should have its own heading to let the reader know the topic of each section. This particular party has all the expected party activities we mentioned a second ago, but there are some fun bonuses as well, like a bouncy castle. Not every party has a bouncy castle, but it sure is some extra fun. This is similar to the aside element in HTML, which is for content that is related to the primary topic, but not necessary for understanding the primary topic. You can think of it as relative bonus content for a page or article. After making the rounds, you meet someone and strike up a lively conversation. Getting to know them a bit, you realize this is someone you could hang out with outside of the party. In a way, your new friend is kind of like the article element in HTML, which is for content that could stand on its own and make sense outside of the context of the website. Examples of content that might go in an article element include reviews, recipes, news posts, and more. It's content that would make sense if you copy-pasted it into an email and sent it to a friend without saying where it came from. Before long, you and your new friend are deep in a discussion, and your friend is trying to make a rather complicated point about something. It's hard to explain, so your friend grabs a cocktail napkin and a pen and starts drawing a diagram to show you what they mean. This helpful cocktail napkin is like the figure element in HTML, which contains any useful image, illustration, diagram, audio, video, or anything similar that helps explain or make sense of the topic of the nearby text. Figures can include accompanying text to label them, which can be placed in the related fig caption element. Not every figure requires a fig caption, but fig captions must always come inside of a figure. Now that we've met all of the semantic elements, let's take a look at an example web page to see how they might be used. Let's start with a header element to introduce the page. To start, we'll have it contain the site logo and tagline. You frequently see headers at the top of a page, but it can be anywhere, on the side, or even at the bottom. Inside the header, let's go ahead and add the main site navigation as well. which we'll put inside of the nav element. This will help our users get to all the important sections of the site. After the navigation, let's add some information about who is behind this website and how to contact them, which goes in the footer element. The name might make you think that a footer should go at the very bottom of the page, but footers can actually go anywhere it makes sense to have this kind of information. Next, let's add the unique content of this page, which goes inside of the main element. The contents of the header and the footer are probably the same on every page of the website, and the user probably skips through those pretty fast. What goes inside of the main is the content that the user came to this particular page to read. Let's say the purpose of this page is to show a recipe. Because that recipe could make sense on its own without the reader knowing that it came from our website, it should be placed inside of an article element. Because the article element represents unique content, it can have its own header, footer, or nav to help the user understand and navigate through it. We can break up the different parts of the recipe, like the description, the ingredients, and the directions into different section elements. We just need to make sure that each one has its own heading to describe its topic. To clarify the recipe, let's add an illustration to help the viewer understand exactly how to shape the dough. Because this is helpful for understanding, we'll place it inside of a figure element. And we can add a fig caption to label the illustration and make it even easier to understand. Finally, we'll add a list of similar recipes the user might want to explore. This list is certainly related to the main topic, but the user could understand everything just fine without it, so it belongs in an aside element to signify that it's bonus information. Now, you might be wondering, why is it so important to use all of these elements correctly? After all, we could make any of them have any desired appearance with CSS, so why does it matter which particular one we use? The answer is that it's important to make our content understandable not just to human eyes, but to other tools and robots, such as screen readers, read-it-later apps, sharing services, and search engines. Building for the web is about far more than just what you see on the surface. And that's why we have the semantic elements to add enhanced meaning to our content. The header element introduces pages or articles. The nav element provides links to get around. The footer element gives info about who made the content. The main element shows what is the primary content of the page. Articles indicate content that could stand alone without the context of the website, and sections indicate groupings related by topic. The figure and fig caption elements are for examples that help the user understand the topic more clearly. And finally, the aside element is for content that is related to the primary topic, but not necessary to understand it. With correct usage of these semantic elements, your website will be the party everyone wants to attend.